What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? Jumping in here on this late night jump off. Coming in here because a couple people had asked me. They was like, "Yo, what's up? Hey, how you doing, Sabrina?" A couple people was like, "Yo, so like, why you keep blowing that shit up in the whole 9 yards?" And I had to explain to them, in reference to how that case goes in the whole 9 yards, because, I'm not the only civil servant they did this to. There's plenty of them they did it to. So my key thing is, like, in studying this, I hope my key goal is to help the other civil servants out where they'll have a better understanding in reference to what their representation is supposed to do as far as the union, and also in reference to how it's supposed to really go down. So we're gonna get into the fact that it's like, so like, how does the case is dead? And I'm like, no, the case is not dead because of the simple fact that it was a civil matter. Okay, when your employer brings you up on charges in the whole 9 yards, and you're going to like court erect and all of that, it's a civil matter. Even if they bring you upstairs, it's a civil matter. But in any civil matter, if they start using fraudulent documents, you know what I'm saying? Like, they writing stuff up, gathering information, and the information is all fraudulent, and they're using it as evidence or accusatory instruments. Now that civil matter brings about what you call investigation, warrants investigation, and it becomes criminal. In this situation, it was so many people involved in it with all of their stuff that was fraudulent. They just was fraudulent, and they kept trying to protect their boy, and they kept digging themselves deeper and deeper down the rabbit's hole. Yet, there was at no given time any of them really say, you know what, I'm gonna put the brakes on this, and I'm gonna let it slide. So the key things they feel like, well, if the city don't jump in, we're just gonna let this rock. Rock? Anybody can use some good common sense and catch you in this. And once you're caught, any document that you signed on to, put your name on it, submitted it on the record, you need to be held accountable for that. I think back to when I first started this. Not to when I first started, but when there was a point when I had hit the city advocate's office when Ms. James was there. And it went kind of different. You got to put these people on point. Seriously. You know what I'm saying? You hold an office in the whole 9 yards. Do your jobs. Seriously. You got all these people that's in these key positions, and they're like, oh, that's not my job, I'm not supposed to do it. No, something has to be done. It has to be passed on. Something must be done in reference to the situation. You get what are you gonna do? You gonna wait till you get a number of people involved, and wait gets up to a class action lawsuit or something like that, or you're gonna continue with the city corruption and flush it underneath the toilet? I could only imagine if everybody else who was involved in situations such like this was supposed that it would show how dirty and corrupt the city is. We shouldn't have to be going through that. But yet and still, my key thing is I had to show it where it goes, like I said, from a civil matter, right, where, civil, regular deal, to it slides over to a criminal matter, where these people could be brought up on charges, because now all of a sudden there'd be warrant investigation under the district attorney's office, and then once it gets to that point, you see the deceptive practices in the whole 9 yards, which is under 349. That usually falls under the state attorney general, but yet still that warrants them to go and say, okay, that's 349, and then what's that 63. 12, those two right there on the business law, executive laws, those kick in and make you go different level, corporate level, but yet and still, the penal law is penal law, period. Period. So all that fraudulent stuff that they was dropping, that's real. So, like right now, under any investigation, and that they're going to try to say, we can't locate those documents. Not a problem. I got more than enough documents. Just post them. Has your signature on it and the whole 9 yards. We go to the senior vice president, who basically, we're going to sign off on this, and then had their underling, which is the appointing officer for the facility, sign off on it, right? Knowing that you're breaching the contract right there. Why? Violation of due process. Right there. Why? The EEO, who was informed, was supposed to take actions right there. How you going to take and hold? This is the key. You're going to let them take fraudulent charges and let them bring the office upstairs for labor relations meeting before the complaint was addressed, such as on the corrective and preventive actions. Then you're going to let them move forward with the fraudulent charges that was caused by the probationary employee, by his directive given to allow him down there, breaching another contract, signed contract agreement. So you're going to let him move forward. And then let's go further. After you do your due, everybody took flight. November 2010, took flight. Boom, right after it happened, and we got to go. We got to go. And then get there to the other facility and then pull certain people up, but let other people drop. Come on now. All you need to get it. All you need to get hit. Period. You got to understand that this is why the union grievance coordinator, who's a litigation attorney, didn't do what was required by him, which is a fact-finding investigation. Once he did the fact-finding investigation, he would have found out how many laws were broken. And then he would have came back to the employer. Are you sure? This is what you got to make them do when they get paid and they work for you. You got to make them do this. Are you sure you want to go this route? Because if you really want to go this route, okay, then we're going to take this and we're going to grab all this information that you have. And not only is we going to do this civil matter, we're going to proceed with this to go over to the criminal side because of the fact that these are public employees and they breached their contract, okay, and they're breaking the law. So they need to be held accountable, subject to immediate dismissal, and then even the chance of facing jail time according to how much of the information they bought and used was fraudulent. Simple math. It's just simple math. But I don't know. You know what it is? It's the powers that be that looks the other way. So then you just got to go to the top of the wig. Like who was in charge? Who was governing the city at that particular time, and let it go down. I'm not going to throw stones on the current mayor. He wasn't in office at the time when this all took place, but we know who was there. And then the key thing is they will be what you call a lame duck. So you get the people who's a lame duck when they're at the end of their administration, they just really don't care, and they'll let everything drop. If you're going to do that, don't get into office. You know what I'm saying? Or you get bitter because the simple fact you find out that your ratings are not good enough for you to move on to another office. So since I can't move on to this other office, I might as well let this drop. I really don't care. It's negligence. Why even come in the office? I don't understand. I don't know. It is what it is. I'm just saying, for those who need to know, they was like, why you keep blowing it up? Gotta blow it up. Gotta understand that my facility, they did over 50 people. Like I said, over 50 people. And they just really didn't care. So you got to look at all of those who were violated, them and their families that were violated by these actions. and then nobody's trying to take and do the correct thing. Something has to be done, no matter what you say. Something has to be done. So that you could bring this stuff to an end, so we wouldn't have to, no one else would have to suffer with this in the whole 9 yards. All of those new jacks coming into play in the whole 9 yards, none of them will have to suffer with that. Like I said, if you don't want to do the job, stay home. Shit, stay home. You don't gotta do it. Don't leave the check alone. See what it is to be broke. You know what I'm saying? Or go seek employment elsewhere where you could be happy there. The fact of just coming in and I ain't gonna do nothing. Was you saying that when you first got the job? Hell no. He was like, yeah, I'm glad to get the job. And that's that. And then for you to get the job and then have somebody else come there and say, yo, I want you to do this dirt. What? We need you to do, nah. Why? What's the possible outcome of it? A, you can lose your job. B, you can be brought up on charges and go face jail time. Who want to go to jail for somebody else's nonsense? Nah, it's not going down. Well, that's it. I'm just, I'm not going to go deep into this. I'm just going to drop that because the cat was like, yo, but how did it go from this to that? Like, it's always open. The minute you think that it's closed, it's always open under the mere fact of the gross negligence of due process. Once they violated due process, that door stays open. You know what I'm saying? Because right then and there, you get anything that's retaliatory. And the federal deal, what's that? 12203, U.S. Code 42. Then if they deprive you of a right, U.S. Code 42, deprive you of a right or a privilege in the whole 9 yards. You got to understand it goes from the top on down. Even though you got city, local government, and state law in the whole 9 yards, if they violate any federal law, which is the law of the land in the whole 9 yards, you go to that. They're going to try to keep you here, keep you grounded. But you do your homework and you go to the top dog. Because a lot of those, there's no statute of limitations. In this key situation, they deliberately delayed the statute of limitations on everything. Everything. On the whistleblower, civil service whistleblower, New York State whistleblower, New York City's whistleblower. They deliberately delayed the time in that. They got New York State Division of Human Rights where they're supposed to take 180 days. New York State Division of Human Rights took 791 days. Explain that. Explain that. New York State Division of Human Rights. New York State Division of Human Rights. Took 791 days. Explain that. Especially when you know that under your guidelines, and it says it, that you're supposed to send the information, because when you file with one, you're really following all three. So you're supposed to take that information and send that information on to EEOC. You're supposed to send it to them within 180 days, and you never send it to them. Why not? Oh, I didn't know. It was a mistake. It's never a mistake. It was deliberate intentions. It was deliberate intentions. That's all. Not a problem. You touched it. You answered for it. So the individual who's answered for that, meaning you conducted an investigation. When did you conduct the investigation? You started the investigation in, what's that, August? Yeah, that would be August. What year was that? What year was that? 2012? No. 2013, you started your investigation. You're way past 180 days. Way past that. Can't start no investigation. You gotta move forward. It's funny that the old commissioner ain't there, and then you can't find out who's the new commissioner. Come on now. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Y'all got caught. You got caught. He didn't think an average person would sit up there and do the homework and catch you. It is what it is. And I'm going to keep doing that homework. So on that note, you know what time it is. The facts cannot be altered nor denied. You have a wonderful night. And I'm out.